Hey guys, it's Bellamy here from Midnight Suns, and today I have some gaming news for you guys. So I'm sure many of you have recently heard about the massive layoffs at the Microsoft gaming division, and we are just now getting more news about what this could mean for the future of Overwatch as well as the Xbox brand. Yeah, so in this video, I'm gonna kind of go through that and let you guys know what I think about the future of Overwatch and Xbox. So just to start off and catch you up to speed if you haven't already heard, but Microsoft has reportedly just laid off 1,900 employees in its game division. And this of course includes many employees at Activision Blizzard, which operates under the Microsoft Gaming Studios umbrella. And unfortunately, we are now getting more information, and it does seem indeed that a large portion of the Overwatch team has been impacted by this mass layoff. In particular, it seems that the team working on the Overwatch 2 PvE content has been completely gutted. Level designers, artists, mission designers, many key roles working on the PvE development have been laid off. So what does this mean? Well, unfortunately, it really doesn't look good for the future of Overwatch 2's PvE mode. Now, I know a lot of people had complaints about the invasion story missions that came out a few months ago, but I actually genuinely really quite enjoyed them, and I really loved the Torbjorn mission in particular. And so, I was actually really kind of looking forward to the future PvE missions. I thought it would only go up from here. I just felt that they had something really special here, and what they released really laid the groundwork for a PvE experience that could be really amazing if built upon well. So I don't know if you guys remember this other game that came out 8 years ago named Battleborn. It was a hero shooter that was kind of marketed as an Overwatch killer, but ended up being utterly destroyed by Overwatch in sales. And I think the reason for that was because Overwatch's PvP system was just leagues and leagues ahead of Battleborn's PvP system, if I'm being honest. But one thing that Battleborn had going for it was that it had these really fun PvE co-op missions that you could just enjoy with your friends and have a blast, which is basically what Overwatch 2 was trying to do with its PvE missions. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because when Blizzard announced Overwatch 2 back in 2019 and told us that it was going to have this great replayable PvE mission design, the first thing that popped into my mind was, wow, okay, now Overwatch is not only going to kill Battleborn in the PvP department, but in the PvE department as well. And sure enough, a few months after Overwatch 2 was announced, Battleborn announced that they were shutting their servers down. And at that time, many of us were thinking, it's okay, Overwatch 2 will come out soon and take its place in the PvE co-op hero shooter market. But in a strange twist of fate, it now looks like Overwatch 2's PvE is never even going to ever reach the level that Battleborn's PvE was at. And I can't believe I'm even saying that. It truly is such a shame because there's so much missed potential here. But I can't say that this news is too surprising, especially with recent reports stating that Overwatch 2 only generated $225 million in sales in the 1+ year since its launch. Now I know that sounds like a lot of money, but that might still not be enough to fulfill Microsoft's expectations. And this is especially apparent when you look at other games like Power World that just generated the same amount of revenue in game sales just 1 week after launching. And bear in mind, in the game console market, Power World is an Xbox exclusive game. So you can bet that Microsoft is looking at the massive sales of Power World, which was, by the way, made only by a small team of 50 game developers. And so Microsoft is probably thinking to themselves now that they need more games like that on the Xbox. And I know it's an unfair comparison, and I 100% support the Overwatch developers because I really love Overwatch, and it is truly one of the best games I've ever played in my life. But unfortunately, to Microsoft, I think they just felt that the game wasn't profitable enough in comparison with some of the other games on their platforms, and so the cuts had to be made. It sucks, but I think it's a business decision that they felt they were unfortunately forced to make, especially after spending almost $69 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard a couple of months back. But okay, now to just switch gears for a bit, let's talk about how these massive layoffs have affected other areas of the Microsoft gaming division, not just Activision Blizzard. And the big news we are hearing now is that Microsoft has pretty much shut down its entire physical games division. Now, I know what many of you might be thinking. It's 2024, every game is available digitally now. Who even cares about physical games anymore? Well, let me just say, this is a much larger issue than many people realize. For those of you who don't already know, every single digital storefront that you know of and purchase games from is most likely going to shut down within your lifetime. Whether it's 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years from now, eventually every digital storefront you buy your games from is gonna be gone. You already have PlayStation and Nintendo shutting down their online stores for older consoles all the time, and recently there was even that huge uproar online about Ubisoft saying that gamers should get comfortable with not owning their games. And for those of you playing on PC thinking you're safe from this and this is just a console problem, I wouldn't be so sure. With the way the current gaming market is gradually shifting towards subscription services, it's only a matter of time before all these gaming subscription services end up taking over the gaming market, just like how all the streaming services have taken over home media. If we look at the home media industry, most people don't even buy movies and TV shows anymore. Whether it's physically on Blu-ray or even digitally on iTunes or Amazon or whatever other digital platform. Most people would rather just subscribe to streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus and get all their shows there for a monthly subscription fee. And the same thing has already happened in the music industry with Spotify. Whether we like it or not, it's only a matter of time before this happens to the video game industry as well. And when that happens, there is absolutely no guarantee that big PC digital storefronts like Steam and the Epic Games Store are going to continue operating the way they do now. Heck, the Epic Games Store itself is still reportedly not even profitable 5 years after launching, so don't be surprised if Epic decides to just cut their losses eventually. And the reason I bring all this up is because with Xbox shutting down their physical games division, it seems that they are no longer going to be producing physical games in-house, and this is a huge sign that they are moving to focus entirely on Game Pass, which for those of you who don't know is basically Microsoft's version of Netflix for video games. And for anybody who cares about game preservation, this is a really scary thing. Now, I know there are many people who don't really think that the preservation of physical games is a big issue, but to those people, let me just say, you might not realize how many hundreds or even thousands of great video games released digitally in the past 2 decades alone have already become lost media because they never had a physical release. And just to show you guys how important this issue really is, in recent years, the US Library of Congress has actually started passing laws in the USA to promote the preservation of digital media. Many great underrated mobile games and even computer games like all those extremely popular Facebook browser games from slightly over a decade ago, they're not even that old. Yeah, many of them are gone forever because they never had a physical release. Many of the companies that made those games either went out of business or lost most of their game files and assets over the years. And that means that we will never be able to play and experience those games in their original forms ever again, which is a real shame. We are practically losing creations of art. So yeah, the preservation of physical media is something that is much more important than most people realize. And while Microsoft could still outsource the production of physical games to other companies, I think this is a clear sign that Xbox as well as the larger gaming market is shifting further and further into a subscription streaming service model like the television and music industry. So to all you console gamers out there, get your physical games now while you can guys, because you probably won't be able to for long. And well, those are just some of my thoughts about this whole Microsoft layoff situation, guys. I don't usually talk about gaming news, but this is something I found really interesting, and I thought I'd share my views on it, especially as I'm somebody who is working in the media industry myself. But what do you guys think? Do you think Overwatch 2's PvE can still be saved? And do you think there's still a future for physical games? Do go down into the comments below and let me know what you think, and I would really love to continue the conversation with you guys. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay gold. I will see you all around.